Hey, horror fucks. So, I rewatched Sinners again and I have quite a bit to say, but I just want to preface this by saying that I am speaking more quietly, and there's two reasons for that. One, I just went to a wrestling show and I was chanting my motherfucking ass off at the top of my lungs and chain smoking like a motherfucker too, so my voice is not in the best shape. Two, I'm staying at somebody's house and one of the chicks here has to wake up to go to the airport in like 4 hours. So I don't want to be disrespectful and I don't have an inside voice. I really don't. So I'm way overcompensating here. Anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. So I did rewatch Sinners. This experience, I would say, was even more special, and for a couple different reasons. One, I went to the movie theater that I spent my college years going to, where I made better friendships, saw some awesome movies, had just all around fun experiences. It's an independent movie theater. So fucking awesome to be back and in the company of good friends. That was cool. Not only that, went into this theater. When did this movie come out? Like a month ago? This shit was sold out again. My heart soared seeing a horror movie doing this well a month after the fact. Incredible. And this audience was so reactive too. And some of my friends that I was with hadn't seen it yet, so that made me really excited. Okay. Rewatchability wise, the rewatchability with this movie is off the fucking charts, which I had a feeling it would be because it is such an immersive experience. There's so much going on and so much to attend to. I figured there was shit that I missed, and yes. So what I'm about to say might get into kind of spoiler territory, so if you don't want to hear it, I would keep going. Couple more general things first. I will say that the second time around, it did feel like there was a lot of foreshadowing to the vampire transition, which I kind of picked up on a little bit the first time, but not nearly to the degree. My one friend that hadn't seen it, she said, that all felt kind of random. And I said, you know what? I definitely see what you're saying. Watch it again and it'll feel less random. I promise. So I thought that was really interesting. I also picked up more on, I guess you could call them more obvious details, but sometimes I'm so focused on all the things that I miss the shit that's right in front of me. So one of the things being the baby grave with the hand on it in front of Annie's cabin. I was like, oh Jesus, definitely didn't pick up on that. Well, in my defense too, they were just having a conversation about how the twins' dad was killed or whatever. So, I don't know. So I missed that. And in the big dancing number where, all the ancestors and basically all the generations are coming with their music, I definitely was paying attention to more of a variety of people. Didn't notice the geisha the first time around either. And just the amount of heart and soul and hope and all the above that scene has and carries. The one thing I'll say too, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful by any means, but I didn't really feel the gravity of like the Irish side of things as much, just because in my mind I know they were persecuted and treated like shit, but to me not to the degree that black people were, so I didn't really match that up in my mind until watching it a second time. I'm like, oh my god, this makes so much more sense, so much more eye-opening. So there was that, and forgive me, but I didn't recognize the significance as much the first time, so this time around definitely did more. That was very cool. There was just so much extra detail and appreciation. The ending credit scene after the movie's over and Sammy admits that, hey, that was the best day of my life, even though I'm paralyzed by that shit. I felt a lot more emotional during that time because I'm like, I'll bet it fucking was. That made him make the break to be a musician. The brothers saw each other again. It was there was a lot of feels in that moment, and him saying that, and it really made me a little more emotional. But here's the thing that I really want to talk about. If you've made it this far, thank you for going with me. Just a lot on my mind before I go to bed. So I was just talking to my best friend about this. One thing I noticed was more of an exchange of saliva. Now, let me explain it. I don't mean like kissing, making out. If I am not mistaken, Annie and Smoke do it more subtly when they reunite in her cabin, like a little drop of saliva. And then when Mary and Stack get together, when she's full vampire and she's drooling and he comments on it and he says something like, "Give it to me," it's a lot more deliberate. Now, I want to know, are there more moments in that movie where that didn't happen? And the reason I'm so fixated on this is because a lot of people hear that and say, that's fucking gross. But with all the spirituality in this movie and all the significance there, I want to know, was that intentional spiritually, and what does that mean? Because I've heard it have different meanings spiritual wise. So I was looking up hoodoo specifically, what that might indicate spirituality wise, and I found a lot of different things, and basically what I could gather is it depends on the intent behind it. So Annie's doing it to Smoke was definitely in a different context than the other situation. So if anybody has any insights on this and can point me in the right direction, I find this so fascinating. If that's an extra spiritual level, and I'm just like, I'm so excited to watch this movie again, and I actually think I might be this coming week. So definitely, if you haven't seen it the first time, watch it. And why'd you listen to my spoilers? If you've only seen it once, see it twice, and a third time, fucking worth it. Thank you for hanging on this long, and I need to go to fucking bed. Everyone have a good night. Peace.